Unbelievable. We'll have to talk about that because you and I are the polar opposite as far as how we got here. But look, we are fresh now, fresh off of the 3-day adventure that was the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles. We cannot go 6 minutes before we're joined by the network without talking about that picture and then video behind Harry. There are a lot of things looking at. The Sixers needed overtime to beat a B, C, D, E, F, G, H league team last year. And the Phillies have been calling robots for years.
Pass.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a hard pass for me.
Like Broad and Lombard? that's you're passing through like Lombard?
Yeah. The Phillies are a hard pass for me.
Look, let me say this, all right? The Emperor, and I said this morning, so if anybody caught Fox 29, I apologize for recycling content, but at least I'm telling you ahead of time I'm recycling content. Here's the thing about the draft for the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? If you're the Emperor, you don't get props for putting the robe on. If you're walking out showing off your new clothes and showing your rear as a result of it, you don't then get props for putting on your robe. Stop giving Howie Roseman credit just for bringing things back to the norm. And I don't even think he did bring it back to the norm. I'm so disappointed with the overreaction love for Howie Roseman, more so than anything else that happened with the draft.
Well, I don't know where you're getting this love for Howie Roseman. It just, it was a success on Thursday night in that they got a good player that they sorely needed. And the lead up to that was the trade weeks ago where they netted an additional first-round pick. Other than that, I don't get any love for Howie Roseman. Where are you getting this?
Barrett's going to break everything down. But real quick, as far as just to respond to this, if you look at grades, whatever stock you put into this, even Barrett, right? Everybody's got grades, right? The Athletic guy, the guy who does the grades for the Athletic, has him at the top as the number 1 graded draft in the NFL.
That's ridiculous.
No, that's not possible.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, thank you. I thought it was just me this morning.
No,
that's
ridiculous. First of all, grading drafts today is ridiculous in its own, just as a
itself,
just doing that right now is stupid.
Right,
I know everybody does it. We're not going to do that. We don't fall into that crap.
All right, have at it, Barrett.
I'm just saying, man, your second round pick. No, once again, your second round pick more than likely won't play this year.
He's hurt.
And I keep telling people, the first 3 rounds, you have to either play or make an impact somehow with the special teams or whatever. You have to play and you have to make a positive influence on the team. Now, last year, the first round pick, he played. The second round pick,
he didn't do much.
Forced to play. I know he didn't do it. He didn't do much. Second round pick, he was forced to play. The third round pick didn't even see the field, but for special
teams. Yeah.
So once again, if you're first through third, if they don't get on the field, it's a fail, an epic fail, because you're supposed to at least the first round is at least going to start. Second round is supposed to split time and play special team. Third rounder, special team, split time. I mean, that's just what it is. And at this point, I think we have another draft in which, the first rounder will play and will have some substantial minutes, definitely substantial minutes. But the second rounder, he'll probably be forced to play. But if we drafted him as a center, he won't play. If we drafted him solely as a center, it's an epic fail because he was the second best center in the draft. Now, understand why they would want a player like that, because we're talking about a captain, a guy that emotionally can get the team going in the right direction, but you can't make the club in the tub.
Right.
He has been out 4 years straight. Well, they don't call it IR, but season-ending injuries. Are we crazy?
That usually doesn't go away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No. And look, we're talking about Dillard, who God knows what the hell you're going to get from him now moving forward. So this whole thing about the offensive line, again, this is why I get frustrated is, they addressed a need. Did they really address a need? Andre Dillard and now this unfortunate situation of drafting a center from Bama who's hurt. What about waiting until the 4th round to take a cornerback?
Ridiculous.
What the hell is happening here?
That's the whole part of with this photo behind me.
Right.
Was they thought they were gaming the board. Like Howie thought he was making a shrewd move where he could get an extra 6th round pick in a weak draft, mind you. What do you need an extra 6th round pick for? Just draft the damn cornerback out of Central Florida at 70 and be done with it.
Well, that's the problem. We miss out on a lot of corners.
I'm so glad the Giants swooped in there and got that kid. I really am.
Because now we can go back to the non-narrative but factual conversation of fire Howie. Where's the guy who's like, still fire Howie on Friday morning? Overreacting, like we said. Jeez, this guy, I don't like him. All right? I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like how he acts.
Yeah.
What's going on, Bat? We got to play that video.
This is a Gal Media product.
We do.
In partnership with JAKIB Media.
And you, my friend, are caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I was never really a grades guy. You know, never really mattered what the letter was as long as I could just get through the grade and the year.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like,
just pass me.
Exactly. Get the hell out of high school. Get the hell out of college. Like, that was the goal. But everybody wants to grade. How are you grading your squads out there? For us, I told you, the Athletic, at least, the only place that I found at the top. But I see B's, B minuses, and I am befuddled at that because I have no idea what the hell's going on.
I'll tell you what the grade is, and the grade for everybody: incomplete, because we don't know. Like just selecting these players means nothing. I mean, you can't look at a draft, but 2 to 3 years down the road, and then you can give it a grade.
Real quick, what is that ringtone? Like, what's the name of that ringtone? That's like the Microsoft Office ringtone.
Right. I can't believe my phone is on right now. But,
but that specific ringtone.
I don't know what it's called.
Russo ringtone. Hey, what do you have to have that promo that Culver put together?
I'm just going to have 8 miles.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
Right.
That would, you know what, though? Nobody would ever mind. Like, could you imagine that you're doing a radio show, you're in a press conference, wherever you are in a work setting, and your phone goes off, Barrett, and it's Russo yelling. Nobody would ever say anything negative to you. Like, come on, man, turn that down. Like, is that Chris Russo yelling as your ringtone?
They would probably go, ah-da-da.
Yeah, what is this? What about Havlicek stuff?
It's 80 miles. Right. All right, we got a lot of things happening here, including we have to tell you about this fantastic giveaway, and it's happening now. If you're following along on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, you can go to, and we put up the link right there, so it's very easy for you. We'll tweet it out. We'll put it out for you as well. It is very easy to see and then follow on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. 1 of 10 Devontae Smith jerseys where you can be entered to win. That's pretty cool right there. 10.
Number 6
Devontae
jersey.
Smith. Yes, 6 jersey. All right. We'll get into everything going on here. The draft. There's a back-to-back tonight that you might want to keep your eye on in the NBA. So some things happening here, including especially our squad in Chicago. So it's the middle. Keep it here.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us. And we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case, but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
Oh, yeah.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Joel into action, Embiid for the lead. Simmons the tip. Did it come before the expiration of time? Did the officials allow it? Presumably they did, because the final scoreboard shows 113 to 111.
Yeah, Barrett, your boy right there. Points 4 and 5 to win the game.
The tip up coming through in the clutch, baby.
His 5th points of the night.
That's the benefit of guys sagging off you on defense, knowing you're not going to get the ball and shoot otherwise. So he was able to slip right in there and get that tip. How about that?
Hey, you look at Embiid. Embiid's got 5 people on him.
Yeah, he's got guys hanging off of him.
It's amazing to see that.
He's got 5 people on him, and here he is. He's by himself. All he had to do was just toss it over to him. But hey, at this point, I'll take it.
Yeah, me too. A win's a win.
Yeah.
They're back in first place.
Yeah, barely by a half a game.
Well, I know, but I mean, Brooklyn lost.
Well, they lost to Milwaukee.
I know.
Who had a guy who right now has, as the very least, as equal of an argument to the MVP as Embiid, if you want to count games played and all. I mean, they lost to a team that is fighting right now for home court in the East.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't barely beat a team that sat their top. That's not a good team in its own right, Harry.
No, and they sat DeRozan.
Their top 3 guys.
Yeah.
Well, they might have played up to the competition.
That's
played
down
to it.
We played down to the competition.
Yeah, which is what they do, right?
I know.
I mean, that's what I think is the only real negative I have for this team is that, especially on the road, but a little bit more at home this year, they really seem to play down. That Cleveland loss would have never happened in the past couple of years with that home court that they've had established. And it's nothing to do with Doc or anybody else. I'm saying I love Doc here, but I'm just saying as far as in general, I don't know. Last night, it kind of bothered me. Maybe it's all this Howie love that's bleeding into the rest of my life.
It's almost like a domino effect. You go from Howie, then to the game, and we all know what's going on with this hockey team, man. This Flyers team.
Are they still playing the hockey team?
You say we all know? That's
what?
A major assumption right now.
Last I looked, they were playing like 6 straight games to the Devils and lost them all.
Right.
You talk about mailing it in.
Unbelievable, but it's not. But hey, we heard from G that it's not that guys aren't playing hard.
Oh yeah.
It's not that they're playing hard.
The osmosis of Barrett working at NBC Sports and hearing like Keith Jones or somebody saying, Claude at least said this.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Shan. That's exactly what it is.
AV told us that these guys haven't quit yet.
It's not AV's fault, though.
No. But here's the thing. Like, that's not a rip. That's more prop, because that's you coming prepared for a topic that might come up, even though Harry is going to go out of his way to make sure it never comes up.
I know that. But see, that's the thing. I know that it won't come up unless you say something or I say something. But I at least had to go and do my due diligence.
I love it.
Right.
I mean,
that's why you said it, so you could back it up with, hey, look, at least G said this. See.
Yeah. He wanted to get that in there. Just
that's what I'm saying. I want to talk about Provorov. That he's not playing up to expectations.
Look at this.
Hey, what are we gonna do? With our goalie situation, man?
I hate to say,
who cares?
I think it's been 2 years since I've said this in a serious context. But let's get it back to the Eagles.
Who cares?
Seriously,
honestly, I am not holding back on this anymore. Who the hell cares about the Flyers?
Nobody,
seriously.
now that they're not going to make.
Honestly,
I tell you, I took the over tonight at 6, and I
that's a done deal. That's like taking candy from a baby.
Take the over.
All
right.
Who's between the pipes?
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Give up goal. All right. Seriously,
put Lion in there.
Let me ask you, what was going through your mind? Because we're going to put this video up. And this was the thing that went viral. This is the thing. I didn't see this until you guys brought it to my attention. This was much bigger than Bob Baffert winning his 7th Derby or Bush winning the Bushy McBushface race that happened yesterday. This was the big thing that went viral from the NFL draft in the 3rd round, when they took the defensive tackle instead of what Tom Donahoe and a bunch of other people expected to be a quarterback. So when you see this and this thing is circulating around and you realize that it's not like 30 people on Twitter and they're trying to push this trend, it's real.
Right.
I guess the immediate initial reaction is facepalm, right? Like, oh my goodness, Philadelphia is showing its ass again out there nationally.
No, with me, it was like, yes, I finally see somebody that cares about the organization. That gives a damn about how to put and bring players in here that will make some sense. I mean, a lot of guys they draft didn't make sense at the time. We needed cornerbacks. We've been screaming cornerbacks for the longest. Once again, I'll have to sit back on 3rd down and have my Pepto-Bismol or my antacids sitting on side, because on 3rd down we're going to get beat deep again by all these Galladays and Amari Coopers and everybody else on 3rd down. We have nobody to cover them.
Can you imagine being one of these scouts, where you've done all this prep work, right? You've been out there scouting all these miserable college games last year during COVID, however you were doing it. And you come up with this name, this kid from UCF, he's sitting right there for you, right?
Yes.
And you're like, this is a sorely needed position of need. He's a good player. He's
Robinson,
sitting there. We don't have to do anything but let him fall right into your lap. And what does Howie do? No, I got to prove to everybody how smart I am, because I'm going to get us an extra 6th round pick so we can take a developmental defensive end from Coastal Carolina in the 6th round that probably won't even make the team.
Right.
And then we're going to take, what's Milton Williams? He might be a nice player someday, but he's listed as a developmental tackle. Okay. Just take the cornerback.
A tweener that doesn't know he's going to be a defensive end or a 3 technique.
Right.
Look, you know what? Oh, boom. I'm going to put this out on the column too. So let me write this down.
We got 2 tweeners now.
But here's what's happened. Just like the Super Bowl was the worst thing that could have happened to reinforce the misnomer that Lurie and Roseman are single-handedly responsible for all of this success. Jordan Mailata and his continued success in the NFL, which I think, and Barrett, you can validate this, is going to happen. Like, this kid is going to be a player in the NFL. That's going to be the same thing when it comes to mining talent in the draft. These guys have been full-on enabled by just shots in the dark. And it worked. It worked when they won the Super Bowl. It worked with Jordan Mailata, but it's not working.
No. Time. Well, see, Shan, that's the problem. It's not working. That's not what you do. What's wrong with drafting players that are already good?
Exactly.
Now that's the damn problem.
Exactly.
Draft somebody that's already good.
But now every round
What
is
are we doing?
who could be the Mailata of this round?
Right.
Who could be the Mailata of the third round?
Who's
a developmental tackle on D that may not even play in the early rotations.
Who's the injured player that we can get in this round that should have gone in that other round were he not injured?
And there lies the problem. That's what pisses me off the most, And we're talking to Ray, and in my, conversations with Ray, we're breaking down, these draft picks that they have, and as we're looking at, these draft picks can turn a franchise around in just one draft. You can get a draft to turn around. We talked about the Saints draft in 2017 on how that draft turned the entire organization around. From that point on, they became a championship organization. So this is what they had in this 2017 draft. Pick number 1, Ryan Ramczyk.
Mm-hmm.
He's a perennial Pro Bowler at the tackle position. Second round, they had a first round, another round. Marshawn Lattimore in the first round.
Cornerback. Yep.
Right. Cornerback, perennial Pro Bowler. They also had, let me see, who was it? Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara in this draft. They had a PJ? No, not PJ. They had a safety too. That
you have
got
it, or are you just going off of?
Marcus Williams. I'm looking it up. Marcus Williams.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He's now a starter and balling for this team. But yet we want to go in and get guys that maybe will turn out in 3 years to be championship type of players.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, right?
No, it makes no sense at all. None whatsoever.
Yeah, man. I think trying to make sense of this, and I'm going to pull this up here where the guy from The Athletic is one of many people who came away with a very impressive couple of rounds of the draft for the Eagles. And I guess I go back to the first night and think, okay, great. Like Devontae Smith is a talent that should help. Clearly the Giants wanted him. They weren't going to get him. Cowboys move up. I get all of that. But is Devontae Smith such a big talent for the Eagles alone that he makes them that high of a grade? And if so,
no.
Why did he fall?
Right. So I think Devontae Smith is a great talent. We'll get our money's worth out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get his money's worth. But after that, we're not going to get our money's worth out of him. Like I said, just look up that 2017 draft with New Orleans. And I forgot about, was it Hendrickson or something like that? He led the team in sacks the past 3 or 4 years. The last 2 years. Trey Hendrickson has led the Saints in sacks. Just got a big contract for somebody else. They just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a big contract because he was going to get more money. We can't go out and get players that can play right now that are good right now.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Well, if you want to
develop people.
If you want a real woulda, shoulda, coulda draft, you can go back and look at it now. But now that they did take an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds, you had Rashawn Slater sitting right there at 12. You wouldn't have had to move up. You could have grabbed him. Then you could have gotten Terrace Marshall easily in the second round from LSU. He was sitting there for you.
Yep.
Then you don't trade away your second, third round pick. You can take Aaron Robinson at 70 and Chauncey Golston, the defensive end from Iowa that ended up going to I think did Dallas get him?
Well,
I think Dallas got him.
Or Washington.
Dallas had a great draft.
I think it was Dallas.
Well,
Dallas
hold
had
on
a great
now.
draft.
We can't say that it's incomplete and say that we can't jump to any conclusions when it's downplaying the excitement of what Philly did and then balance it out by going over the top for another squad, right?
Right.
Well, I think we can and this is the problem. I think we can like a player. We can like a kid. We can like where they came from and what they did in college. But that doesn't mean, and nor should it transfer over to, oh my God, this team did it. Just because they took the kid you wanted doesn't mean the grade is a B+.
No, I like Smith. I like Dickerson if he can be healthy.
Which he's not right now.
Right. And I don't know if he can be. And I like Gainwell a lot from Memphis, the running back that they got.
That's a good pick.
I like that pick.
Yes.
The other guys I don't know about.
I watched film on Gainwell. I did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good enough that he was he would have been a second rounder
Right.
had he played last year. But
he
sat out
opted out last year.
He opted out and only had one real year of game film.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? One real year.
I think he scored like 15 touchdowns total in that year.
He was unbelievable. You know, he was almost unstoppable.
12 on the ground and 3 in the air.
He had a game where he had 100 yards rushing and 200 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I want my receivers to get 200 yards receiving, let alone a running back. They line him up out of the slot, line him up wide. He can run in between the tackles. He's explosive.
And he's 200 pounds. It's not like he's one of these 170-pound backs. He's 200 pounds.
Well, let's see how they use him, because I'm not even going to assume that he can be used correctly. Not every coach gets that benefit of the doubt. All right?
And look, if Dickerson can stay healthy, if he can be healthy, he's going to be a good player.
All right,
but their history doesn't bode well.
It's the middle. You're watching on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, Sports Map Radio, Philly Voice as well. We're back in 3. We are fans. That's why we're complaining.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie? You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on play.
Ruin on the stream.
Yeah.
How many times has Harry looked like Donahoe when the boss was all rah-rah like Lil Howie? Oh, that happened a bunch of times.
Dorian Buckner said we're complaining too much. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not really complaining right now. I can really complain if I really wanted to complain, but no, not right now.
All right.
This is just me telling the truth about what they should have, could have, would have done.
I saw a much better comment to respond to.
Which
Anthony Romero.
Oh, yeah. The kid from Texas Tech, the family he comes from.
Yeah.
But he was a Penn Stater. That kid.
Yeah, he started out Penn State, but
Yeah.
got too rough for him.
You're listening to The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I'm looking at this here, the draft rankings from The Athletic. This is a little aggressive, don't you think, to put the Philadelphia Eagles right there at the top?
Well, I think SI gave him a really good grade, too.
Yeah, but if you look here, if you're watching on the JAKIB Media YouTube page here on the middle, and if you're listening on Sports Map Radio, we encourage you to watch as well, especially when we pull stuff up here. But this guy Brugler, who no knock, I have no beef or blood with.
Dane Brugler, yeah.
Yeah, the Athletics' Dane Brugler, who's their number one guy. Like, he's their main guy.
Right.
Of all 32 teams, he put the Eagles at number one. Now, this isn't like Zach Berman, our guy, Shield, right? Like guys in Philly who were charged with ranking everything. And it's like, oh, come on. Of course, you're going to put your team up there at the top. No. This is the main national person for the Athletic. And let's be honest, it's not like the Athletic is, the Ringer or a place that's just more comical and not as serious. I mean, the Athletic is built off being serious with integrity. And I think that's what's shocking here. At least the takeaway for me is that, all right, look, you want to argue that the Eagles had a C, C+, B-, that's fine. But who in their right mind would all argue that they had an A+ or A++?
I don't think you can give them an A+, just simply because, if you look at it, they have a lot of tweeners, guys that don't have defined roles, defined positions. If you look at it, 3 guys, for instance, you got to look at the 7th rounder, the pick 234, Patrick Johnson. Is he going to be an edge rusher? Is he going to be a linebacker? Jacoby Stevens. Is he going to be a safety or is he going to be a linebacker? Who else? The defensive end from Coastal Carolina. They want him to play inside or outside. Milton Williams. They want him to play inside and outside. So that's 3 guys that are like tweeners who you don't know which way they're going to go as far as, a position on the team. There is a lot of talent on this team, but it's not the number one talent that'll come play right now. They need to be developed, learn the game, and put in great situations.
I mean, if you want to grade a draft, we should grade the 2018 draft because it's 3 years.
Oh, you know what?
Go back and grade it.
Why aren't people – think about this. That's a genius radio bit for 2 reasons. One, because it satisfies the lazy host who lives in the past, who just can't help themselves to recycle old content. And 2, it's actually really smart because it keeps people in current context kind of balanced. Like, hey, man, you just went excited jumping up and down for a kid they took in the 2nd round. And I'm not speaking specifically to Dickerson, just in general, where you have no idea what's going to happen with this guy in 6 months, let alone 12 or 18 months. Why don't you look back? Like, it's a really smart idea. I don't know why more people aren't doing that.
Well, I mean, because typically that's how long you have to let it marinate in order to before you can really grade how they did.
But
right?
It should be a tradition this Monday. Today should be a tradition where, yes, you acknowledge what your team did in the draft. Hey, great. They took Devontae Smith Thursday night. They took a center who's not healthy, fill in the blanks with the rest. And then you spend the majority of the time looking back at what your team did 3 years ago. Like, it should be a holiday tradition, the Monday after the draft, to spend 75-25 on the 3 years ago draft.
Well, let's do it, Barrett. I'm going to give you a name right here. This was their. They didn't have a 1st round pick in 2018. I guess the 2nd round they took Dallas Goddard, who I was really excited about when they picked him because they picked him right in front of Dallas, if you remember. And we all thought that Dallas wanted him, and maybe they did want him. I don't know. But what would you say about Dallas Goddard? I'm a little bit. He's kind of not performed the way I thought he'd be better.
Well, you know what? I like Dallas Goddard, and I like the way he started to mature into a really good tight end once he figured out that, all right, I'm not just the second fiddle, to Zach Ertz. So he's starting to get implemented more into the offense. Carson didn't really have a feel for him, so I didn't think, they threw the ball to him enough. But now that this young guy's there, Hurts is going to throw to him. Hurts is going to fill it up with him. So I think that, the chemistry he has, as far as athletically, he's just as good an athlete as Ertz. He can catch just like Ertz. He has more yak yards than Ertz. He can run after the catch.
Yeah.
So
I need more production out of him, but I like the pick. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, he has getting that little black book, though. Well, it's an iPad now. He needs to learn his plays better, be more in tune with what the offense is trying to do as far as getting him open.
All right, no 3rd rounder either. 2 in the 4th round, Avonte Maddox and Josh Sweat.
Wait a second. We should put context as to why this team doesn't have a 1st or 3rd rounder here, because that's going to wait on what that draft was, especially if they put themselves in a position with a bad trade or bad move. in order to not have these picks. And then they didn't hit on guys on top of that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it compounds the error at that point.
Yeah, I got to do more research as to where those
was that a Carson to get up for Carson? I don't know what the first was. I don't know why they missed that first. But as for Avonte Maddox and Sweat is starting to develop into a really good third down.
Baltimore for Lamar Jackson.
For Lamar Jackson?
Yes, sir. The Eagles traded their 2018 first and fourth round selections to Baltimore in exchange for their second and fourth round selections and a second round selection in 2019. So we'd have to see in the second round. I don't think they were in the second round at the time. So they traded their first and fourth to be in the second and fourth, and then an extra second in 19. So they only had one second round pick in 2018, and that was Dallas Goddard.
Right.
So, well, you know why that made sense. You know why you don't look at the first round pick, but you have to look at they had just won the Super Bowl, so it was actually pick number 32.
Right. It was
which is actually
round.
Belichick or Ozzie Newsome. Or your guy in Pittsburgh, or just now in Tampa Bay, they took a linebacker. They brought back two of the best linebackers in the NFL, and they drafted one. Get out of here! I'm not accepting that.
I mean, 32 is just like a second round pick.
I love the justification of it, but come on, this is it. Even still, like, you should be able to mine talent out of that. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England, these teams are making a living there. I think that further compounds the error of that draft. If you're not sold on Dallas, like Dallas Goddard has to be a first round talent at this point in order to pay out for that trade and that draft to make sense, in my opinion.
All right.
With a Bloomberg.
Let's look. All right. So next in the 6th round, Matt Pryor from TCU.
Stinks.
That's your guy.
He stinks.
Isn't he the one with a hand issue, or was that Herbig?
That was Herbig. That was Herbig. Pryor stinks.
Pryor couldn't fight his way out of wet paper bag. He needs to go see the Wizard also.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to go see the Wizard. You know, he's soft as drugstore cotton. I don't understand it, man. To be that big, why are you just so inept at being mean?
Yeah.
You know, get mad sometimes.
You ought to come on this show. You ought to come on this show. We'll get him mad.
Seriously. Man, that Seth video blew up.
Oh, yeah. Seth.
Here, man.
Love Seth.
We got to get Seth back. There's this awesome story. You see the story here of what's his last name? Lazaro, right? Jesus Lazaro, the A's reliever.
No,
what about him?
He has a hairline fracture in his pinky because he bumped his hand after playing a video game on a table following a loss.
Bumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like he rage quit after playing a game. And we did about 25 minutes on this yesterday.
Wow.
Well,
he broke his hand in a video game.
Well, look, I mean,
is that a non-football, non-baseball injury?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he just suffered a loss. He's maybe he's dumb enough to sign on like his gamer tag. His number's 44. Maybe his tag is like Lazaro 44.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking he's in safe territory, like he's in a judgment-free zone if he signs on to like Call of Duty, one of these servers that's designated for just A's fans, right? And then he gets sniped in the head by some 14-year-old kid who looks up and is like, oh, wait, that's the guy who just blew the game tonight. And just lets him have it. That's a hell of a rage quit. He rage quit and had a hairline fracture in his pinky.
Wow.
Maybe it was the show. Maybe he was playing the show.
Oh, my goodness.
MLB the show?
Yeah, what if he was playing himself in the show and he gives up a jack?
A dinger.
To an 18-year-old kid who can't wait to let him have it. Not only did he give it up to him in the game, but that's you in real life. I mean, you kidding me? Like, if you pancake Barrett Brooks in Madden football, if you were playing Madden football, you wouldn't be letting him have it?
Oh, I'd be up in his grill.
Yes. That's my point.
I'd be standing over him showboating.
That'd have been amazing, bro.
Yes.
He's all in his headphones, just killing them. You know what I'm saying? Killing them.
Amazing. the things that they'll say too, they're vicious on there, man.
Oh, no question.
Oh, yeah?
No, rage quit. Is it mine, Joey B? That's a phrase that has been thrown around forever. Trust me, I wish I could trademark that.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Unbelievable that we have high grades for a draft that isn't really inspiring. Maybe it's the people behind it. I don't know. I can't get over that video. I cannot get over the optics of that video. And look, it's not just one guy at the end. Let's be fair. You did not, I don't know if anybody caught Jim Trotter's piece on what's going on out in San Francisco, but it's basically, if you can envision the video that went viral of the Philadelphia Eagles, it would be the video description of the polar opposite. Like everybody in unison jumping up. You shouldn't be having to, like, if I'm out here and needing to extend my fist even more for the fist bump, that means you're not into it. Yeah, that like if I'm like out and I need to extend a little more into the screen, you're kind of like, chill.
No.
And that happened to guys before he hit Tom.
Oh, I know. He was trying to go around the room getting fist bumps from everybody.
Yep.
No,
it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's not, and it happens. That happens in war rooms. I mean, everybody's not going to like that pick, but understanding that that's the realization between a football guy and a non-football guy.
Yeah.
Understanding, I bet it was the same thing that played out in Minnesota. It was the same thing that played out with the Giants. I cannot believe they let this guy go.
Right.
Or you mean
you're talking about last year with Jefferson being left on the board? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They did what? Oh, hurry up! They couldn't wait. I mean, in fact, as soon as they picked him, they were on the clock for 2 seconds. They're like, nope, all right, and they have the pick.
They're probably sitting there saying, "Damn, the Eagles are going to take Robinson."
Right.
I know they're going to take Robinson. They need a cornerback bad.
And they already took Smith from us. They already took Smith from us.
Right.
I hate to do it to you, Eagles, but you just gave it to us.
But you know what? Here's the thing to that, and I saw Jeff Bruder and others reference this on the stream. Like, it happens everywhere, and you mentioning it. And I'm not speaking for you or at you, Barrett, specifically. I've seen it to a larger context. The difference is that those other teams are not the subject constantly, routinely of pieces, both locally and nationally, of dysfunction. They're not looked at right now as and you know what? You're right, where other teams are dysfunctional. There are teams in sports that are dysfunctional. And maybe it's an analogy of somebody getting caught speeding on the side of the road where you're like, okay, I'm speeding too. But if that's a Ferrari, if that's a Maserati, if that's a high-priced vehicle that's flying, then you look over there and you think, all right, well, then there's going to be some attraction if you're going 100 in the left lane in a super fast, super expensive car. And the Eagles routinely do that, and they routinely get caught. And the optics of that video, I think, almost validated everything that came before it.
Well, I mean, he knows the type of talent they just let go. They just let fly by us. He understands what they needed. And because he understood what they needed, we didn't go get it. Then now it's, Howie's like, all right, let me try to justify this for everybody. It's a great pick, right?
Right.
No, bro.
Well, I mean, the mindset was that they thought Robinson would still be there 3 slots back down, right? To let Carolina come up and take that offensive lineman. Right. And they got he got gamed. The Giants got back on him because the Eagles thought they didn't trade down to take that defensive tackle. They had to take that defensive tackle because the guy they thought would be there was no longer there.
This is a third-round version of Marcus Smith.
Right.
You had no idea what to do, so you went with somebody who you at least knew the name. It's like, I don't know this person, I don't know this person, I don't know this person. I at least know that person's first name. I'm going to go hang out with them in the party. Like that's what you did. You had no idea what you were doing and you panicked.
Well, that happens.
Yeah,
and
it does.
You got to stick too much with them, though.
But you got to know your draft board, and there it is. You don't understand your draft board well enough to make informed decisions, at key positions during this draft. You got to know that you need a cornerback. You need a cornerback more than Carter needs liver pills.
And there were 2 corners that ended up going right after that pick, too.
Right.
Washington took one of them.
Well, Asante Samuel was on the board, and I don't understand what's happening.
I thought that's where they were going.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that is what they're going. I mean, come on now. You got Asante Samuel there?
What? They didn't even address this position in free agency. So you'd think, okay, maybe you're going to stock younger players now. And look, I get it. And Anthony Romero on the stream was the first to bring this up. And there are others now. And this is not or far from a knock on McPherson. I mean, if the kid can play, it's going to be a blessing. But it shouldn't come to that where you're hoping that a 4th round pick can turn into something like that, where you're automatically absolved for overlooking this position in free agency.
Well, you know,
Asante Samuel Jr. wasn't there in the 3rd round. He was taken in the 2nd. Yeah.
Oh, 2nd round. Pardon me.
Yeah.
He was on the board with I'm sorry.
With Dickerson. Yes.
To get Dickerson. Yes.
Right. Where you could then make that justification for making that trade in the 3rd round and not have as much pressure on that pick that the Giants scoop. Where if you've addressed the need, because at that point you look at the board in the 3rd round and there isn't as clear-cut of a decision where you can take somebody at least who had the talent of Asante Samuel. So what they did is they let it hang. They let it hang until the 3rd round, and they got cute with it. And then they got caught with it. And then by the 4th round, look, they got McPherson, and that's great, but that was the only option. There was no other option by the 4th round but to draft a quarterback, where if you take Asante Samuel in the 2nd, not the injured center, you're no longer in that position in the 3rd round.
Right. But this is the travesty of it all. He's not the best center. Now, if you draft him to be a guard or a center, then I can see, all right, but still not in the 2nd round. You could have got him in the 3rd round.
The other center, you're talking about the guy that went to Denver?
Yeah, I'm talking about what's his name?
From Wisconsin,
from Oregon.
Whitewater?
No. This is guys from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
He was the number 1 center. He was the number 1 center in the draft. And when I broke down, when I broke down what the Eagles could have done, they could have gotten him in the 3rd also. You know what I mean? Because he got picked in the 2nd round, but still, he was if you're going to get somebody and he's healthy, he's healthy and the best center in the draft. Healthy and the best center in the draft, and his draft philosophy: we want players that love ball, that are fast,
right,
and are healthy. He checks the box of 2 of them, but not the 3rd one. He has yet to finish a season without being on IR. Well, they will not finish the season hurt.
Yeah,
they don't have IR in college. But come on, man, get the cornerback. Everybody knew we needed a cornerback. Why would we not get a cornerback high? I thought we should have got a cornerback in the 1st.
Well,
let alone to the 4th. I mean, when I did my draft breakdown for NBC Sports, I said, well, the Eagles waited to the 4th round to get their cornerback. Zach McPherson started his career out at Penn State, left there, went to Texas Tech.
Right.
The only reason I knew about him, and I watched film on him, because he played against my alma mater, Kansas State. And I was watching, they had a kid, Kansas State starting quarterback is actually from Philly.
Yeah, he's from Exton, PA.
Yeah, Exton. Yeah. So I'm watching film on him, and they have a pretty good receiver that he was throwing to. And who was covering him? McPherson was covering him. I'm like, this kid is pretty good. Physical, very physical, almost too physical.
Yeah.
Rerouting the receiver. He's not as fast as you want, but he's like a 4.5 guy, high 4.4. But he's good. But you wait to the 4th round to get a corner.
Well,
we have no corners at all.
Right. That's right. Exactly. That's what's infuriating about this.
Maybe the kid will be really good, and then we'll be saying, man, they mined that kid out of the 4th round. That was a genius pick.
I'm 3 years. In 3 years. I'm tired of that 3 years stuff. Yeah. Everybody else is drafting guys that can go play right now. Like Michael Parsons.
I'm saying we grade these drafts 3 years out. That's
right.
All
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We don't have to grade McPherson now.
Right.
And this is the difference, right? People, however you're approaching this with whatever platform or conversations you're having today, a lot of people approach it like they have to have the 2 connected, like they're mutually inclusive, if you will here. But they're not. Where we don't need to grade McPherson for 2 or 3 years. That's fine. Like, who cares about McPherson stepping on the field right now, separate from the Eagles really did not address the cornerback to date by Monday, May 3rd. Like, I think you can make that statement and then say, we have no idea what McPherson would be in the NFL.
Well, we can grade him 3 years.
Do a damn thing to address the position.
Right, Shit. I understand that we can grade him 3 years from now, but we don't have that ability to not have him come play now. He has to play now.
Well, yeah, but the Eagles are telling you that this year doesn't matter.
Right. Correct.
That's BS too.
Really, this year is a look-see at a quarterback and building draft picks for down the road, developing players that they're taking now that probably won't start, some of these guys, and next year getting 3 first-round picks.
I'm looking at Dallas's draft.
Dallas is ready to win now.
Right. So Micah Parsons, they got the quarterback. They got Micah Parsons.
Love Parsons.
I tell you,
he's going to be a
nice
beast.
Flyer on him as defensive rookie of the year, and I suggest you jump in now before that guy starts having Pro Bowl numbers this year.
Did you already bet it?
Yes, I did. I took Horn as a hedge.
Okay.
Those 2 guys, but I love Parsons as rookie of the year. I got.
Oh, and Jabril Cox. This kid is even though he's a tweener, this kid can cover. He can blitz. He can play anywhere from LSU.
Mm-hmm.
He transferred from, I think, North Dakota State. He was there first.
Well,
transferred to LSU and balled out his 1 year he was there.
Now the Eagles took a safety late in the draft from LSU. What do you know about him?
He's a hybrid guy. I mean, he put on too much weight because they didn't know if he was going to play linebacker or he's going to play safety. Well, he ended up playing safety. He's going to have to cut some weight. You're right. Yeah, Creed Humphreys. That's his name. Yep, from Oklahoma. Best in the draft.
That's a great name, Creed. Your first name's Creed.
Right. Caught your back here on the stream, so thanks, King.
Love that.
But you're right about he'll play special teams here, but he'll still he's still going to have to play reps. They say he's a slot cornerback. I think he can play on the outside. I think he'll be good enough because he has the size to play on the outside too. I think he'll be okay.
Yep.
He's not just going to be a guy that's going to, come in and not play. He'll be physical enough to play.
Here's the thing. We got to break real quick on the network, but just to wrap that up on McPherson, it's not that McPherson can play. It's not that McPherson can't play. I hope, and I'm still going to root for him if it takes him a year to get on the field and play continuously. It's the pressure that has now been put on him to do that. That's unnecessary, because if the Eagles took just one cornerback ahead of him or signed a name in free agency that can be playing that position, we wouldn't be talking about it like that, Barry.
Right.
That's my point. All right, let's take a quick one here. We're live, the JAKIB Media YouTube page, Sports Map Radio as well.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
Back-to-back 45s on the front, Saturday and Sunday. Totally fixed the driver.
Yeah.
Yep. You remember when I told you that I cut that one shaft down to the 7-iron length, like right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's so much easier to for me to swing through.
Your driver's a 7-iron length?
Yeah, it's 42 and a half inches.
Holy shit.
But I have the Cobra head, so it's a square face. So as long as I get the ball on the square club, dude, I'm crushing these drives as better as I've ever hit them. And I found this tip for anybody that's still dealing, because I have a lot of the alligator arms. When I come through at times, my arms are up, and that causes that like tail, that slice/tail.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I used this tip where you tee the ball up and then you put a tee, like 2 tee lengths in front of that tee, and you constantly stare at that tee in front of it. And that's what you look at, and you let your peripheral catch the ball. And between the two of them, the drive's fixed.
Wow.
Dude, you just screwed me all up. I don't know what
no. Look, I'm going to show it to you. You come out with me and I'll show it to you, man. All right.
All right.
We'll go out to,
I took my one driver. I mean, my one driver out, man, and I still can't. I mean, I can hit it better than I can do my driver. My 1-iron, I can hit it better than I hit my driver.
Well, there's a problem then with how you're hitting your driver.
Yeah, that says more about how you hit the driver.
I can't hit my driver, period.
Right.
But I can hit my 1-iron.
I'm going to fix it for you, Barrett. All right. I was like you. All right. 2.5 weeks ago, I was like you, where I couldn't hit that thing with the GD, and instead it's fixed. I can't do anything else. I can't fix anything else for you, but I can fix that for you. All right. That's all I got.
Did anybody and what he said about the Jets draft today?
Well, I know Ron Culver would have, unless he just tuned him out, which is possible. He tunes us out. Much easier to tune one voice out, though, than 3, right?
Yes.
Let's see. The words he used was best draft ever.
Best draft ever.
Yeah.
This is the type of crap they verify on Twitter.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he had a lot more to say about it than that, but I mean, he is extremely excited, over the moon about the fact that they got their quarterback of the future, Zach Wilson, and the fact that they traded up for
not Dogecoin to the moon, huh?
I liked Elijah Vera Tucker's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore is a good pick.
Yeah, they got them.
Any other Elijahs on the board?
Michael Carter was a good pick.
That's a damn good pick. Yeah, the running back.
Yeah, the running back from North Carolina.
Not the defensive back from Duke?
I don't know much about him. That's Michael Carter the second.
Not Michael Carter Williams.
He was picked second, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot going on here in this conversation.
Wow.
Oh, Ron with 2 hands is on fire right now.
I stumbled upon a television show. All right. It's an old show, but I'm curious if either one of you have ever caught it. It spans audiences, all right? So it's a wide cat, and I think it's network, which goes against everything I stand for.
I'm all about this mayor of Easttown right now.
Yeah, we got to talk about that coming up. All right, we'll be back in 3.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
I think it's safe to say, Barrett, we could say the 2018 draft was pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't even get to Mailata in the 7th round. Mailata is stumbled upon, but they've developed him, and he looks like he's going to be probably your starting left tackle now, right?
Well, it's not even probable.
What about the 3rd round? Nothing in the 3rd round?
No, nothing there, but Josh Sweat's a pretty good player. And Avante Maddox, at least he plays.
Yep. But they have a lot of position, man. He's not a wide corner. He's a slot corner.
But is that where I don't even think they're looking to play him there? It sounds like they're looking to replace him.
Well, they're looking to replace him on the outside. He can play on the inside. I think they have somebody. Yeah, but I think he has somebody else that plays a little better than him on the inside. So that's what's going on.
Who's that?
What's the kid's name? Let me look at it now.
I'm just looking here. 5th round was Sweat, right?
Yeah, 4th round.
4th round Sweat. 5th round was who? They didn't have a
nobody.
5th round pick.
Matt Pryor was 6th, and he's not good.
Harry, I'm pretty surprised that. All right, so you've got Mailata here, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get to your question, Dane. I think that's a good one in a second here, but hold on a second, right? Mailata is a starting left tackle. Is his ceiling Pro Bowl?
Craig James.
All pro?
Yes.
Really? You think his ceiling is all pro?
I don't know about that.
Pro Bowl.
Okay, Pro Bowl.
Maybe a Pro Bowl.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. So Mailata is a potential Pro Bowl left tackle.
Yes.
Dallas Goddard, I don't think they're really big. Like Goddard is here, and he's going to be a target, but is Goddard a top 5 tight end in the NFL? Top 10 tight end in the NFL?
He can be a top 10 tight end right now. Yeah, he can be a top 10 tight end. If they use him correctly and they incorporate him in the offense, he has to get in that little book, though, man. He has to get into his plays and see why things are happening in order for him to be a better player. You know, what's the reasoning behind them calling a play for him? You know, once he can go out there and run the route. I mean, if it's wide stick nod, all right, you know, he can go out there and run a nod route. But he needs to know why they're calling the play against a specific defense or a specific player in order for his game to go to another level. He's not doing that just yet. You know, that's what makes great players great. When you start taking it past just the regular X's and O's. But once you get into, all right, they're running it because, all right, they have a fish right here. You know, this defense, this defender, he can't do this. That's why they're calling it. He'll be a better player then.
Harry, that's the tight end. You gave a first-round pickup and then put this first-round pressure on.
And you, my friend, are caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Ertz is still on the roster also.
Yeah, why?
It can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
There was a report today that Aaron's condition on returning is that you're no longer the GM. Has that been communicated to you in any way with your communication with him, with Mark, or with anyone?
You know, Aaron hasn't said anything like that to me, and certainly hasn't said anything publicly. So I think it's a little unfair to kind of, put that on him. But, listen, you certainly don't like to hear those things, but at the same time, it's kind of part of the gig in the National Football League.
Well, there you have your boy, Harry, out there in Green Bay. What's his name?
Oh,
Gutekunst.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, news to me. This guy wants out. That's the first I heard.
That was one of the big letdowns of this draft. Is that you got
the draft on Thursday.
It did. It hijacked the draft on Thursday, and then nothing happened.
That's great work by him, because he was able to incorporate him being a game show host in the conversation also.
Right.
How great work is that? You know, you have a gift when you can do that. Not only am I just saying, all right, I don't want to be a Green Bay Packer anymore, but I can just say, forget this NFL period and go be a game show host.
Yeah, I mean,
and be totally happy with it.
The 2021 draft, it's not about, getting back from COVID and, Cleveland did such a nice job and, all these quarterbacks were taken and, it's about the draft that Aaron Rodgers didn't get traded in. That's really what it is.
Yep.
And why is Zach Ertz still on the team? For the
right.
Nobody in their right mind would trade, just like the Packers aren't in their right mind to trade Aaron Rodgers. Nobody would be in their proper mind to trade for Zach Ertz when he's about to be cut June 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles, they play poker with their hands out, with their cards out. It's like, here you go. I've got a pair of twos. Oh, wait. And they flip it around. Like, we got to talk about something else for a couple of minutes. Just
okay.
Maybe not. We'll give the people what they want, right? Give the people what they want. You don't remember that? That was way back during Mays to Midnight when Nick Cale was producing that show. Give that drop. Give the people what they want.
Nick Cale didn't produce Mays to Midnight.
Oh, okay.
He was not a part of that.
Okay. I'm going to break this driver out so people on the stream can see. They don't think I'm telling the truth. 42 inches.
Wasting your time.
All right.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie. You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on play.
Hey man, my
wow,
my grandma, man, she passed away 2 days ago, bro. On Saturday, man. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, but she was cool, man. She
What happened to Jason?
89 years old.
What was that text that
It's a good run
with Jason
What?
on the text chain?
Oh, I'm not seeing anything here.
Did something happen with? Oh, got it. Got it. I don't know what.
What are you talking about?
I hate to do it to you.
What in the world are you talking about?
All right, you'll see, man. Look later. I'll show you.
Presented by Rocket
Yeah,
Mortgage.
it's fun.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts
We'll
Studios.
get into it. I
Here's
promise.
Eitan
Off the air.
Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Medina Spirit and Mandalone's ride for stride. Hot Rod Charlie and Essential Quality closing on the outside. The four of them come into the final furlong. Mandalone fighting for the front. Medina Spirit battles on. Hot Rod Charlie on the outside. Essential Quality on the far outside. The four of them coming to the finish in the Kentucky Derby. Here's the wire. Bob Baffert does it again. Medina Spirit has won the Kentucky Derby. Mandalone was second. Hot Rod Charlie was third.
All right. Now, what was more fixed? Was it the Bob Baffert winning the 7th Derby in like the most obvious of storylines coming to fruition? Or was it a guy named Bush winning the Bushy McBush race in NASCAR?
I think you got to go Bush on Bushy McBush.
Ah, okay.
Right? That's a lot of bushes.
It's way too much Bush.
Yeah.
And where the
That's
hell
bush
is-
overload.
Seriously.
What the
Let me
bush
ask
are
you
you
a question.
talking about?
Yeah.
Who greenlit that much Bush?
I
Who
don't
said
know.
That we need this much Bushy McBush face, and then on top of that, the threat, like just the threat of a guy named Bush winning that race should be
Right.
enough of a deterrent not to name it that.
What is Bushy McBush anyway?
Man, you're asking the wrong guy. And definitely don't ask the stream. All right, that's what I know. Here's what I know to answer that. Don't ask Joey B or 91L or anybody else.
Yeah. But yeah, I just looked this up, Eitan, because you were talking about your driver now. You have a 7-iron shaft in there.
Well, not a 7-iron shaft.
And you said it was 42. A driver, a 7-iron is
No,
like
no.
36 and a half, 37 inches.
No, you guys misunderstood. Okay. It's not
Misunderstood.
the
That's what you
shaft-
said.
right. No, exactly. Well, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying is it's not the shaft of a 7-iron. It's not like I took a 7.
Now we're going to Bush the shaft.
What I said is I cut it down significantly.
Okay.
So it feels like a 7. It's meant to feel like a 7-iron as far as length is concerned, because I've cut the shaft down 5.5 inches.
Wow.
From what it
That's
was.
a lot.
Exactly.
So your drivers now, that's almost too short.
You know, you cut it down that much, you can really damage the integrity of the shaft.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Screw that if the ball's going straight and long. I'll replace it. Look, Harry, I've never hit the ball better before off the tee in my life.
Okay.
For 27 straight holes, every time I used the driver, it went straight.
Wow.
And that's never happened to me before. And I've got witnesses, all right? So I'm not making this up. Now, the rest of the game has gone to hell and high water, but I don't care about that for now. I'm enjoying it.
Control now. Because it's short, you got more control with it.
Well, here's the science behind it. Is because it's shorter, it's easier to connect the club head and technically the face to the ball.
Right.
So as long as the club face is hitting the ball square, it doesn't matter, or it shouldn't matter how long the shaft is. The ball's still going to go, and it's still going to carry. So that's the science behind it. That's all.
AJB is probably not legal. But hey, who cares?
No, it is legal. Of course it's legal. Look at what Bryson cuts everything down to the same length. What are you talking about? It's definitely legal.
Not his driver.
Legal. His driver is cut down. Absolutely.
No, it's not. He wants a 48. He's got a 48-inch shaft driver that he sometimes uses.
Sometimes uses, right. Yeah. But he also has one that's shorter as well that he'll power through. If you look at this, he uses it sparingly, but he has this thing that's like 45.
Well, 45 is kind of normal.
I think 46 is kind of like standard, right? 46, 46.
I always get an inch and a half taken off of it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because when I first started,
to 45.
Yeah. When I first started golfing, they said, "Oh, you have to get like 4 inches more than anybody else because you're 6'5.5".
Right.
And when I went, you know, I played like I played even worse than I played before. But now I got clubs, I got them the same as everyone else's, and my game got. It's still bad, but it's a lot better than it was. Way better than it was.
Wow.
Just from using regular lengths on all of them.
Congrats on finding the fairway.
Look, man, that's all I care about. I don't care if I'm driving with a putter at this point. I cannot hit that second shot out of the stuff that's thicker than my beard growing for 3 months. Like, it's brutal. All right. It ruins your day. Now, speaking of days being ruined, right?
Yeah.
Right? Speaking of days being ruined, again, I guess the whole Bushy thing was over, right? Yeah, you're a shaftsman, right? This whole thing, I think people were rooting, and I get the feeling that people were rooting against that you and maybe Barrett and maybe you were rooting against Ben Simmons last night. Is that accurate? Are we at that point of the season now where you guys are rooting against Ben Simmons?
No. Where'd this come from?
Well, he wasn't having a great night offensively, so you probably just cashed in your chips.
Well, he only took like 6 shots, I think, 5 or 6 shots, right?
Yeah. I don't let him influence my thoughts on the Sixers anymore. He's an afterthought now. I mean, I think about the other guys on the squad. You know, I don't mean this point, you know, why would I even invest any time in or thoughts in him? Because he's not going to do what I want him to do anyways. He's not going to play the way I asked him to play. You know what I'm saying? I had some, you know, I really had some great thoughts as far as him being more than just a defensive player, a facilitator this year. I thought he was going to grow a little bit, but no. Head coach didn't do it, so why would I even think that I would just go ahead and keep on thinking that?
That's fair. I think that's a very fair observation by all means.
I'm just hoping that they can, you know, keep winning and get the first seed.
Yeah,
because they absolutely have to have it.
Because I'm looking at, you know, if you look at their roster now, I have hope in George Hill being a contributor. He's going to be a contributor. So my expectations, I have expectations of others and not him. Ben is going to just be a facilitator and a defensive player. I've come to that realization. I know, you know, Dwight Howard is going to be goofy and go out there and make stupid mistakes, but still he's going to be a good defender for the most part.
He's pretty good center coming off the bench, though, man. Like, yeah. I feel pretty good about their bench.
But he's going to hack. He's going to hack somebody in a stupid moment. You know, and that pisses me off.
Dwight Howard?
Still. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sound like he's preparing for an Eagles draft.
No, but he does take some stupid fouls.
Right. You know, I don't get it, you know.
But he's a pretty good option off the bench.
Oh, he is.
Look around.
He's a great option off the bench.
No doubt about it.
You know, Shake Milton is Shake Milton. Shake Milton fill it up some days. Some days he comes out, you know, and they don't need him. But, you know, if they need him, he's there to be a facilitator. Cork Moss has become a, you know, more of a 3-point specialist.
He's hit and miss.
Yeah, but you don't rely on those two guys in the playoffs.
He's like a Vinny. He's like the microwave, the Vinny microwave, bro. If he's on, he's on. He's gonna go for 3-point
Turkish
range.
microwave, though.
Yeah.
It's like a Bobo microwave that you get at Costco, and it was made in Turkey. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Hold on, you'll have those chicken nuggets ready in no time. Sitting there. Here we go. Here we go. It's round and round. It's like the lights on and the thing is spinning, but
right.
That's
right.
And it doesn't beep all the time when it's done. Like you don't. It just like shuts off, and it doesn't even give you that beep.
It's like you got it from the Asian market, man.
5 minutes.
Every time I go to the Asian market, man, I got this one wok, man. It's a great wok because you just plug it up. You can plug it in. You don't even have to, you know, it's
you know, an electric wok?
Yes, electric wok, man. It's great.
Isn't that like an electric grill? Like what electric wok? Why not
electric wok?
Gas or
no?
Is it a George Foreman electric wok?
Yeah,
it's the George Foreman of Asian woks. Great.
Wait,
but I can only get 12 uses out of it, you know. So I started counting now. I'm on my fourth wok, electric wok, because I mean it makes great food, great fried rice, but I only get like 12 uses out of it. Once I started getting to 8 or 9. I noticed, you know, the food starts tasting a little different because it doesn't cook as fast as it's supposed to cook. It's like the heating element in it slows down or something, right? So I know I got to go get another one. So I'll push the envelope like maybe once or twice more, and I just go to Asian Market, go get another one.
You know, woks are highly underrated and probably underused.
Yes,
as far as cooking.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah,
I do everything in a wok. You know what I make in woks? Funnel cake. Amazing funnel cake maker.
That I don't know, Harry. Have you heard that one before? Because that
funnel cake in a wok.
I'm not discounting I'm just saying if it's something so unique, then maybe we should have a little stream. Like we need a little spin-off of this and getting into your kitchen and watching you work that wok. Maybe that's the name of the show.
Well, my kitchen's being redone. Just so you guys know, my kitchen. I have guys working downstairs right now. They're just they sent the not fin. I don't know what you call the drywall guys, but the wall guys, the finishers. Well, they're down there working right now. So
okay,
I have no kitchen. Period.
I think Play Action Reel named it right now. The segment would be called "Walk This Way."
Oh yeah,
yeah. And you can play that Aerosmith lick, like there's just a guitar lick over it.
Like you might have copyright infringement there. You might have Aerosmith or Run DMC. Like there are a bunch of different areas of copyright infringement that you might run into. Who the hell knows?
Not Waka Waka.
I wouldn't be shocked if Russell Simmons owns that song after that merger. So think about it that way. Hey, real quick, I just saw this because I just placed this wager earlier in the morning today, and I took the Nets at plus 375 to win the division just because of value. It was ridiculous. The Sixers were like 700 or 650, something like that. And the Nets were plus 375. It's a half a game right now. There are a couple of left. And clearly, if at any point James Harden can even walk, they're going to try and get the three of them out there at the same time, which I don't necessarily anticipate, but you still have Durant and Kyrie healthy.
And both of those guys played yesterday.
Correct.
But they've played one extra game more than the Sixers now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But look, the Sixers on the road, like we've seen them lose games and play down and all. Look, it's the value play. That's the reason.
I got you.
Now, I just checked it again to bring it up so I can bring up that number. And instead of going to my ticket, I just went to the futures. It's now at plus 475. And the Sixers have dropped to minus 1,000.
Wow.
It's shifted that. Yes, Barrett, that much in not even 4 hours.
Why is that? Just like you said.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, just like you said, I mean, they're still holding out. You know, there's majority of stars in each game, and there's still 1,000. That's crazy. That's crazy odds.
Yep. I had to jump on that again. A double down.
Wow.
I hate the fact that I have to root for the Brooklyn Nets now at the stretch of the season, but I'm sorry. If you're pushing that level of value in my face, I feel I would be a fool.
Because we're going to play our stars, period, to try to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Play our stars. I like that theory.
Well, now they have the back-to-back tonight with Chicago.
Yep, which I like. I like the Sixers in this. It was a terrible game last night. They totally played down. Nobody got up for that game at all. I think that it's just human nature in this league on a second night. If they came out and they throttled the Spurs, I would stay as far away from this game as possible. But I think that they're definitely active tonight. I did look at that first quarter, though, just in case you're wondering, because, look, this is where the first quarter plays are so valuable, is coming off of a back-to-back and seeing what happened the previous night, like when the Pacers just dominated earlier the other night against the Thunder. I mean, it was like they put up 150 on the Thunder, which was ridiculous, right? It wasn't, they put up more than that game in overtime. I did take the Bulls to win the first quarter and race to 20, just because I feel like if there's any moment tonight in which the Bulls come out, it's catching the Sixers a little tired from that first quarter. But then the rest of the game, I think Sixers catch up and then run away with it.
Well,
So,
the game line is like 5. Does that give you any indication that maybe one guy's not going to play tonight?
I think that you always have to factor that in.
Yeah.
And we also have to look at Chicago as well, because it's not just the Sixers. Like last night, for example, lineups were locked, but wouldn't that have been a perfect night to sit Embiid? If you knew the Sixers or the Spurs, right, were just sitting, or Tobias or Ben or anybody for that matter that you could place in there. So just a real quick, and I'll tell you what, we'll take a quick break on the network. It's the middle, JAKIB Media YouTube page, Philly Voice, and Sports Map Radio. So real quick, just looking at this here for tonight and going to Chicago, because that's another element of it, right? Is trying to.
So you think Embiid's just totally out of the race now? So he's not going to be trying to push it to play every night. MVP race.
I mean, Vooch is questionable. Levine is questionable. So that's really it right now. Everybody else, Troy Brown is not really factoring in there. Everybody is anticipated to play for the Sixers unless there's something late. I think that line, Harry, is just the anticipation of, I think that line is reactionary to last night.
From last night.
Man, yeah, they needed overtime to beat the Spurs.
Yeah, back-to-back travel.
I mean, I don't hate taking Chicago if Vooch and Levine play, but I'll tell you, Levine's a pretty good fantasy option tonight if he plays. Really good.
They have Portland's hot right now.
Yeah, that game, man.
They've won 4 straight.
Yeah, that's a really it might be down to a pick 'em by tonight.
Yeah.
See what that is at.
And they're in the middle of a long road trip, which they've won every game so far.
Yep. So I just looked at this, and for anybody out there who wants in on this, by all means, that Magic Pistons game is priced pretty low for the total. Like the total is pretty low.
210.
Yeah. And I think that's just because everybody thinks that these two teams are miserable and all, but Orlando can run and like Wagner and Mo, like they can run, they can score, and Detroit actually has no problem pushing as well. So what I did is take $2, $5, whatever you can, and go over on every single player's point total, rebound total, and assist total, even 3-point total. Wow. Look, if you did at $5, you would have 25 bets at $25 total, right? Or no, $125 total. If you did it at $2, like do the math, whatever a small, not even a full unit is, but you're going to make money if you go across the board and go over, because everything is priced super low on that.
The highest.
Everything. Over 9.5 points for Killian Hayes. There you have it.
Friends.
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna have to sell the Mercedes. I told you. Wifey's got this. She's paying for this. The kitchen renovations. She's paying for that.
You're listening to The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we have a couple of things to sneak in here before we get out of here. Overtime at the top, of course. Mentioned the Brett Favre hijacking the
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yes. Sorry. You know what it is?
That's a Freudian slip for you. What is that?
Thank you. Because Brett Favre did the same thing with this organization for like 2 straight years. Remember, we always go back to the optics of when Aaron Rodgers was first there.
Yeah.
And they kept putting a camera in front of him and asking about, are you going to start? Is it going to be Favre? Are you going to start? And these big bags under his eyes. And then like finally, once Favre said, enough, I'm out of here, he looked like he had slept for 3 years, like Rip Van Winkle. That's what I'm saying. So Brett Favre.
I'm out on Brett too. He was my dude. I'm out on him now, man.
Who, Favre?
Yeah, bro. I'm out.
What did he do now?
It's not even worth mentioning, bro.
Is it like the text that you sent where this is off the air stuff that we have to get to here?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Harry didn't know yet and kept pushing and pushing. Unbelievable, man.
But then he puts a finality on it, though.
Well, I saw it. Now I know what you're all talking about. Yeah.
Is anybody heading out to the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction? And if so, is it because of either Leonard Skinner or Brad Paisley?
I have nothing against either of those acts, but I wouldn't go out of my way to see them.
Okay.
I don't need that kind of inducement to be interested in going to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Think about that. We may be one of the few fan bases that really does it. Like Brian Dawkins gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. It could be Weird Al Yankovic performing, and it would be flooded with
right
fans. It doesn't matter.
Right. It could be Milli Vanilli in a reunion tour.
Right. Where everybody already knows that they lip sync.
Right.
Still, they did it on the rain 20 years later, and still it would be packed.
Packed with jersey-wearing fools.
Yep, exactly right. Leonard Skinner. What is going on, though? Why those two? Doesn't that seem a little random?
It does. It's like...
Here's the problem. This is the biggest issue I have, is when I watch or turn this thing on, I want to hear a speech. I want to hear the crowd react. I don't want to hear 5,000 people yell, play some Skinner.
Yeah, free bird.
No, I don't want to sound like I'm at some wedding.
You know what I would like to see, though? Here, maybe this is the surprise element of this.
The surprise ending?
Yeah, Peyton Manning comes out and performs a couple songs with Brad Paisley.
Oh,
and they put like a nice Gibson Les Paul around, strapped up with Peyton, and he's playing a couple chords. The guitar's not even plugged in, but they just have him up there. That'd be great.
Goodness. Now look at this. Ruin. We should take him at his word. It would be just Millie, as Vanilli has passed on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew
was
that.
Not aware of that.
Yeah. So you'd have to have a hologram.
What?
Well, that's what they do with celebrities now. Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac. That happened.
Yeah,
Wow.
Right? You get hologrammed.
That's my boy Alafanica is getting
he is
inducted. Yeah.
Charles Woodson, Drew Pearson, John Lynch, Alvin Johnson, CJ. How about Peyton Manning coming? I tell you, that would be disappointing.
What's that?
Peyton Manning coming out. Hey, real quick, before we get it back to the Eagles, you mentioned this show that is on HBO right now. And I don't know how deep you are into it, but we might be able to convince Barrett to start watching it because it's based in our area at the very least.
And it was shot in this area.
It was shot in this area as well. Now, I'm a fan of The Star. Harry's going to tell you all about the show. We got about 2.5 minutes before we break. He's going to tell you all about the show. I'm a fan of the star of the show.
Me too.
I like the idea of it, although I've heard that there can be some over-the-top pandering to this area to ensure it's like, hey, we're in Philly, like we're in the Delaware Valley.
Well, I noticed they shot in my old hometown of Phoenixville a couple of shots. I noticed some of the street fronts that I remembered, but it's called Mayor of Easttown, Barrett. Mayor, M-A-R-E, is the head character, the lead character. It's Kate Winslet. She's fantastic. She plays a detective, like a cop, local cop out in Chester County, investigating, this murder.
It's one murder.
Yeah.
Throughout.
Thus far, I mean, I've only seen 2 episodes. You can't binge it. You got to watch episode 3, I think, was last night. So I'll watch that tonight.
Yeah, Adam's exploits on the stream mentions he hears they mention Wawa constantly. That's what I've heard. Like there's a little bit of pandering. And because we're so easy to pander to.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We love being pandered to. We love being stroked.
It's honestly like a movie could come out from Bollywood where all they do is put a sign of Wawa on in the back the whole time, and it would be a top seller in Philadelphia. It could
No
be,
doubt.
right? I mean,
There'd be a headline on Philly Voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Philly Voice would do a whole piece on it.
We'll be all in. I'd be all in.
Of course. But you're not
Wawa.
in on Mayor? Are you in on this one? Are you going to give it a shot? Give it a crack? What do you think? Give it a shot?
Unlike you,
Well,
I'm gonna take your advice and I'm gonna watch the first episode. I'm gonna see what's going on.
Guy Pearce,
even though you wouldn't even watch the first episode of
Hannibal.
Yeah, because you described something that doesn't interest me. This, at least, I feel like
you don't want to see anybody eat somebody's liver or a dude's liver or
no. I don't want to see that.
I'm not a fan of
look,
fava beans or Chianti. Okay.
All right. And it's no knock on you. Like, I don't know why you take it personally. You don't like my show, man. Like, keep you.
Like Barrett's trying to reach out and give you the fist bump, right? And you're just like, man, I'm out on that.
For that, I'm all up, and I even extended a little more and reached over the table a little bit. You kind of like still, you shift me. You know what I mean? It's like you box me. You keep on, Come on,
Now,
man.
Is there any? It would really and truly be Philadelphia if somebody was like in the car listening to the radio, right? And it would be one of our locals or us or whatever it may be. Like that. How do we get in on that? That's the idea, right? All right, we're still talking the draft. Some other things happening here. It's all on the middle. JAKIB Media YouTube page, Philly Voice, Sports Map Radio.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie? You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on play.
All right. So there are only 2 out. When does it come out? Sunday night, right?
Yes, 3 was last night. I guess tact is inherited.
Yeah. There's something.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I know that we're not allowed to talk about baseball on this show, and I don't complain about that. Barrett's the only one who does. But
why wouldn't you, man?
Well, look, that's fine. I'm not, and that this is where I'm more in the middle. Is not the middle, is
we're on the middle.
Exactly. But I find that I stand right now straddling the line of the middle between two extremes where Barrett would love to impart the wisdom that he has sponged from Jim Salisbury and others. Look at that. As soon as I mention baseball,
now he's
the
out.
Opportunity for Barrett to talk about something, he just jets. He's cooked. He's done. He's had it. But the point of being is that we now have an opportunity to at least play this. We're going to play this video coming up, this segment, or maybe before we get out of here, at least before overtime, of this fan who did something ridiculous last night in that Yankees or that Mets-Phillies game. The one in which the Phillies lost, Harry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that.
No, I know they lost. They gave up a 6-run 8th inning.
Yes, they
and then
did.
Hoskins thought he hit a homer that would have tied the game, but they reviewed it and realized that it hit the top of the rail, which it did. It was the right call, and he had to be called back to third base, and they ended up losing.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly right. And at that point, that
it's only fair.
Yeah.
If you had to give up 6 damn runs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Call them out, Barrett.
That's ridiculous, man. I mean, they suck defensively, offensively. You know, I mean, what? Come on, we only have one defensive player. Well, I'm sorry, two defensive players that are doing anything on this team, man. It's ridiculous. I don't understand what's going on. What's going on at all, man? I mean,
don't look for answers from Harry. This wasn't meant to be a baseball segment.
How is this evolving here? We're talking baseball?
No, I'm going to show you what happened last night.
Oh.
And this is the fan. This was the most exciting thing.
Oh, nice stab.
Wow.
Sign that kid up.
Right. He can play defense.
No knock on Nick Maton, but I think that kid can play.
Yeah.
He just bare hands this with his right hand while what is he doing with his
Eating
left
a hot
hand?
dog or something?
He's eating.
Yeah, he's got a hot dog, nachos.
Looks like nachos.
Is that ice cream?
No, there's something there. It's a spoon. It is ice cream, I believe.
Look, that is a fan.
Wow.
97 miles an hour, we're told.
While eating ice cream.
Come on.
97 miles per hour off the bat, and he snagged that sucker like it was nothing. He also saved somebody's life. Did you see that? Like, look at it again here. There's somebody, as his girlfriend, I assume. He saved her life. I love the guy who comes over. That's the best part, man. The guy who comes over and is celebrating like it's his boy. Like, yes, because you would. Like, that's the natural reaction to it if you saw somebody do that.
What was the exit velo?
97.
97?
Wow. He plays better defense than Moniak and Quinn.
Now, here we go. 97 miles an hour.
Yeah. Impressive.
That's the most impressive thing that happened last night on the baseball diamond.
He has a better glove than both of those guys.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, that's it. Just wanted to sneak that in there. We can get back to the Eagles, get back to the draft, get back to the level of disappointment that people have. I don't know.
Why? Why can't we get back to that, man? Because
no, I
mean, you bring in Odubel, he ain't doing anything, so you can just cut him.
I think he has one hit
for baseball. Yeah.
He has
so
one
we can
hit.
cut him. It's not like it's not for his transgressions. It's more so because he sucks, so they can just cut him now because he sucks. You know what I mean? So let's just get him out of there. Mickey Moniak, he's in year 5, first pick in the draft.
Yep.
And he hasn't done nothing in 5 years.
They don't develop
anybody. Sit him back down. What is up with that?
They don't develop any of these young players. Really develop.
So
I mean, are you sold on this Bohm kid?
No.
I'm not.
No,
not at third.
Well, I mean, with the bat too, he hasn't done anything to impress me.
Fair, very fair. Yeah.
I mean, look at the zero production they're getting out of their left fielder, their center fielder, their third baseman. These are key spots that you're supposed to have run producers. They're getting nothing.
That's right. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh, look, see? There it is. You just have to find the right entry point, Aaron. You just have to find the right way.
See, Barrett, you sucked me in with this baseball.
5 minutes.
Now I'm all upset.
We're 5.5 minutes in the segment, and we're still talking about baseball.
I need a what about Havlicek right about now.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
Hey, Mills.
Unbelievable. That's exactly what we need right now.
You try to tell Jordan?
No Ewing tonight. I know you're playing the Bulls and Jordan.
Oh, my goodness. What about Paul Silas? Instead of me resetting the show like you're listening and watching the middle, Barrett Brooks, Harry Mays,
that's what he would do. He'd freaking play.
Just do a drop. It's like when you watch these sitcoms, right? And they play music. They're bumpers. It's just like we play bumpers, right?
Wow.
That's
How about Paul Silas?
Right? Jeez. There you go.
And that's it. That instantly gets us back into it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we know we got to get it going.
That just makes my day.
Whenever you get derailed.
It really does, yeah.
You can't help not hear that, right? You have to. You have to. What was the other one? Do you remember?
Any of them, man.
Oh, it was Jokic. That's what it was. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jokic.
Jokic. That's what it was. Jokic.
Well, here's getting it back to the draft and your gambling addiction. Since this draft has unfolded, have you taken out a futures on the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl?
No. Why? Because of who they took specifically in this draft?
Oh yeah, I liked what they did in the draft, and I think they're a pretty hot team. As far I'm gonna bet on them.
What do you have them at?
Let's look.
I don't know. I didn't think to look at that. You're right. They did have a good draft. Newsome is a player.
Yep.
I like the linebacker out of Notre Dame too.
Absolutely. Yep. JOK was a kid that people were talking about at length on the stream, especially when we had a former linebacker on and Seth Joyner on Friday. Kid from Auburn should play. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad draft. They, I guess, have some question marks still. Defensively, they're stacked. I don't know. I don't know. Look,
offensively, they're stacked also.
They're stacked offensively, except for the key position where
quarterback.
This kid does not throw in volume. Yeah. And at some point in the playoffs, you're going to have to make plays with something you're not comfortable doing. Mike Vrabel did it to Lamar Jackson. It's going to be done, as we've seen, even Baker Mayfield. They're going to, some defensive coordinator in the playoffs, when it's much tighter and much smarter competition you're going up against, is going to take away Chubb, is going to take away elements of the game and ask Baker Mayfield to beat them throwing 40, 45 times. I don't trust that.
33-1 they opened at. They're now 20-1.
Well, they've been bet down significantly because of your point, which is they're always going to be a sexy play. Baker Mayfield's on every other commercial.
Right, he's always on a commercial, man. But I mean, their draft. Look at their draft, man. They did pretty good. Like people are really downplaying like Schwartz. I mean, this kid runs like a 4.3, 4.2.
Yeah.
You know, you get the ball in his hands on special teams. You know, he could take it to the house at any time.
That's true. I do think that there is a good draft. There are talented people on that team, but is that team going to come out and win the Super Bowl?
Can that coach
beat the Bills? Is that team going to beat the Chiefs?
They can't score in volume though. That's the problem. They do it the old-fashioned way. They grind you up, go down and score, grind you up, go down and score, grind you up. It's not like it's teams that are just scoring, in volume. Like every time they touch the ball, they're going in volume. They're quick. They're trying to make it happen so quick. And can they slow down the other team to stop them from scoring that much? That's why I thought this was going to be a defensive-heavy draft for them. Because, stopping people is what they need to do because they don't score in volume. They just run the rock, go over the top, run the rock, go over the top. That takes time to do. You got people like Kansas City want to score now, right now, as fast as they can.
Mm-hmm. Like a basketball team.
Exactly. I also think that what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen down there, like in Cali, man? I mean, all three teams I think had pretty good drafts.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback position with Trey Lance, right?
Well, it's not. I mean, all two teams now. I'm sorry, all two teams now.
Right. If the Niners start Lance and move Garoppolo, then that's going to be difficult to win 10, 11 games.
Right.
Division. If Garoppolo's out there just to compete and make sure that they make the playoffs, then you probably won't see Lance at all that year.
Right.
Unless he gets hurt. So I don't know. I don't know.
Which is very possible from the way his career is gone. Him getting hurt is almost a reality.
Is New England out of play right now for Garoppolo, or is that still a thing?
No, they're out of play for him. Why would they get him?
Jones.
They got Mac Jones.
I don't know. Well, look, Bill Belichick doesn't have to start Mac Jones even now.
But I think San Francisco has to start Lance.
Okay.
You don't take a guy. You don't move up and take a guy third to have him sit, do you? For Garoppolo?
For Garoppolo?
No, we saw that last year we saw that once last year, right? Justin Herbert, though, technically was, and Ron can correct, but Herbert was drafted to sit half of the year, or was the expectation that he was drafted to sit the whole year? Clearly, it took a near death of
the injury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. For Herbert to start the second week, but I don't know. Like, what, Ron? Do you remember what was the general assumption of when Herbert would start that year, if at all?
I think it was looked upon as a midweek or mid-season situation that Tyrod Taylor was going to take over the reins, and it all depended on how Tyrod Taylor was going to perform, and then that's when the doctor had the accident, and I'm using quotation marks.
Right.
Because I think it was a planned hit.
You still think that?
I do.
Yeah. Well, you're
I'm
a fan
not
of the team. You would know
I'm
that.
not wrong. I mean, they made the right decision. Who knew
Wow.
Herbert was going to come out and blow everyone's mind away?
By the way, that would blow away the whole Tanya Harding, Jeff Galooly thing. If this thing came out to be in which Herbert, and of course this is ridiculous, so I don't want anybody saying, I heard Chandler saying it. But what happened is if Herbert had done that, that would definitely trump the whole Galooly and Harding thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it's Herbert. I'm saying Chargers front office.
Oh, front office. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm saying it's a planned hit.
So the ownership.
The ownership. Spano.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so Herbert was drafted, but to start at some point that season. Can you make the same argument about Tua, who was drafted, but clearly wasn't drafted to start day one? Because you had Ryan Fitzpatrick in the lineup there.
No, he was drafted to start day one. And then, at that point, Fitzmagic was playing great, and they benched him anyways.
No, but Fitzpatrick started the season.
That's what I'm saying. They wanted Tua too, but he just wasn't ready. He wasn't close to being ready.
But didn't they know that at
Wasn't
the
he
draft?
injured? I thought he was injured too.
Well, yeah, he was coming off that injury.
He was coming off the injury. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So that's a little bit of a factor in there. But no, I mean, for the most part, when you're drafting quarterbacks in the first round, Kyler Murray the year prior, right? Daniel Jones in that draft, Dwayne Haskins in that draft, even when you're drafting these kids in the first round, you don't really find over the last couple of years guys drafted to sit, right? Nathan Darnold.
No, and
Josh Allen.
Only in Green Bay.
Josh Rosen had a shot to start when he was drafted by Arizona.
Yep. Love is the only guy that that got drafted in the first round but hasn't seen the field.
Technically Lamar Jackson, but he was drafted in the last pick of the first round by Baltimore, and Joe Flacco was already on that team, and that was looked at as a future pick.
And I saw somewhere on Twitter today that Peter King, I guess he was with Dan Patrick on his show, was asked specifically about Rodgers. Does he make week 1 in a Green Bay jersey? Does he start? And he said, I would bet no.
Wow. Was Peter King with Lombardo?
No.
Okay.
No, he was
we got to take a quick one. Wrap the hour coming up on the network.
Havlicek.
It's the middle. JAKIB Media YouTube page, Philly Voice, Sports Map Radio.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready. In just 8 or 16 weeks, train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
You're listening to The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Question. All right, and let's expand this in overtime. So I just want you guys to think about this here. I saw this on the stream. CM on the stream, and we thank everybody from those who are day one to those who are today. We appreciate all of you being a part of this program here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page and listening across the country on the Sports Map Radio Network as well, and always live and local here from the Fritz and Bean Cooley Studios. First round grade A, second round grade, third round grade, going through that. Before we get out of here, we should give our official grades, our official draft grades, but not to this year's draft. I want to know round for round what your grade is for the 2018 draft, because not only am I going to write them down, I'm going to put them in and credit you for them on the latest Philly Voice column. That's going to hopefully drive people back to this show anyway. So let's start with the first round. First round, F.
Well, they didn't have a pick.
Well, yes, you traded it away to get two second round picks.
Right.
And that pick happened to be Lamar Jackson.
Okay. So, yeah, all right, F.
All right, well, hold on a second. Barrett, in 8 seconds, can you give your letter or you want to wait?
No, yeah, to me, F.
All right, well, let's talk about this. It's all coming up in overtime next.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about Eagles! Every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.
All right, it's overtime. Only here can we introduce a new message on the stream. And everybody else, not CCM, not CM Punk, not Anti-M. No, let's go through this here. The first round is an F. You trade it out to get back into the second round, and then an extra second round, a fourth round pick. We'll see who they took in the fourth round, which is Josh Sweat. So hold on a second. Maybe it's not an F. Maybe it's more like a C minus.
C minus, yeah. C minus or just a flat out C, because you got a value pick out of that in the fourth round.
Here's what we can do, Barrett. Let's do this. Let's look at what Josh Sweat's grade is individually in the fourth round, and then we'll average that with the F.
Okay.
So you take the F, and then you take whatever Sweat's grade is, and then somewhere in the middle, that's the grade for the first round. Does that make sense?
Because we didn't have a second round pick, did we?
Yeah,
we traded
Goddard.
No,
Right,
but we didn't have one that year.
Yes, sir. Correct.
We just had a first round, and then we had a third rounder.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. Well, hold on a second. Okay. Well, then we need to push this. We need to take the second round grade and the fourth round grade, Goddard and Sweat respectively, and factor that in with an F and average the three of those out. And that's the first round grade. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
It's an F to give up your first round pick. It's an F.
I'd say Goddard's a B. And Sweat's a C plus.
C plus. Barrett, any thoughts here?
B, C minus.
Okay. So what if we run C? Is that fair?
Yep.
B and a C. Okay.
B and a C. Okay. So if you get a B, a C, and an F, what's your grade average out to? Right? Probably something to like a
C plus.
B plus, C minus.
Yep. Just flat out C. Yep.
C plus, B minus, B.
All right.
C plus, D plus.
Then you put in Avonte Maddox in there.
I think it's honestly more like a D plus, to be honest with you. No, but you're right. It's a D plus, and then we factor in Avonte Maddox, who was the second round pick in 2019, right?
No.
Avonte Maddox was taken in the fourth or fifth round in 2018.
No. Who was second round in 2019? Sorry, who was that?
Second round of 2019?
Miles Sanders?
Yes.
Okay. So what's Miles Sanders' grade?
B.
B plus.
I'm with Barrett. I'm not willing to give him the plus yet. Can you be talked into a B, or are you going to be the holdout juror on this?
No, I'll go B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have 4 grades to factor in. Is an F, 2 Bs, and a C.
Sounds like my report card at Shippensburg.
Okay. What was the F? Basket weaving?
No. I had one semester. I had 3 C's, a D, and 2 F's.
What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I just didn't go to class.
But you had to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
You pay for it. I see that wasn't happening. If I'm paying for it, I'm gonna take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never flunked a class. I've never flunked a class.
No.
No, but I didn't get too many A's.
You haven't lived till you flunk a class, Barrett.
Oh man. Especially at a liberal school for not showing up to class, that being the reason why. And then hearing from your advisor that you're never going to do anything that requires you to be on time.
Man, I'd say I probably would have flunked this one class, but I told you my boy Tyson Swigert.
Yeah.
He pulled an all-timer.
I'm trying to figure out what this average would be. Isn't there some sort of calculator?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
you get like 3 for a B, right?
No, it's 5 is an A, B is 4, C is 3, D is 2, F is 1.
No, actually,
you shouldn't get 1 for an F.
No,
that should be a 0.
Yeah, you're just off.
All right, so
there.
4 then. 4.
Right. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay,
That's what I said. B's a 3.
Okay, so B is a 3. So we're at 6, 8.
Yep.
So we're at 8 divided by 4 for
It's
grade.
a 2.0.
Exactly.
That's a
So
C.
that's the C. So all right. So the 2018. Look at that. All of that to get to. This is why you do it 3 years later. This is why you give the people watching a full comprehensive breakdown of the draft that matters. All right. So the 21st.
That's great work by you, Harry.
C.
That's great work by you, man. I mean, that was intense there.
Yeah.
Second is a C. All right. Because second is a B because that's Dallas Goddard. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Third round, they don't have, correct?
No third round.
Nope.
So that's considered an F again?
Correct. Yes. First round C, third round F. Okay. Fourth round, we already told you was a C for Josh Sweat.
Yep.
Fifth round.
Is that Avante?
No. Avante was 4th.
Oh, he was 4th too?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Fourth round as well.
Avante.
They got Sweat and Avante in the same draft in the same round.
Correct.
So what's Avante's grade?
He's another C.
C.
Okay, so there we go. So the round is still a C.
So we're a solid C.
Solid C. Well, hold on. We haven't averaged this one out.
And then Milata.
Wait, what
There's
about
no 5th rounder?
Fifth rounder? Nothing?
No 5th
I'm not going to give you an F for not having a 5th round pick.
No. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need to. They just don't have one. So it doesn't get. How about this? It's not an F, but it doesn't get factored in. Well, it's not an F, but it still gets factored into the average.
Okay.
And I'll explain. Okay. So 6th round is what?
6th round is a D. Matt Pryor.
Okay.
Yeah.
7th round is an
Milata.
A. I would say an A because of his abilities and where you got him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There we have it. So let's add this sucker up. Now that we know what we have here, and we can do it by points, we have 2, 3 is 5, an F is 0, C, another 2. So now we're at 8, or pardon me, we're at 7. We'll go back to the 5th round. 6th round is a D, so we're at 8. And now we're at 12. So you're basically looking at 12 divided by 6. I'll give you that. Remove the 5th round. 12 divided by 6, you're at a C. First, so the 2018 we have successfully graded as a C.
Way to work it out, Shan.
Well, yeah, and
yes.
I would probably
That's
grade
great.
that. I would probably grade that up to like a C+.
Yep, me too.
Why? Why are you rounding this up?
Just
because you got a couple of starters out of it.
Okay.
You know?
2 starters out of it. I'll give you that. Now, remember, we're not factoring in Miles Sanders on this. We just factored
No.
Sanders in to get to the first
No,
round.
I'm not. No, you're right. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we're doing. We are Ash, we are grading the players. That's how we're getting the grade. We start with the player grade. That's why we looked at Sweat, we looked at Maddox, we looked at Sanders, we looked at the names to grade that as far as the pick is concerned. And then you look at the average of all the picks. But 3 years later, man, that's it. That's it. That is a full comp. That's what you want. Who the hell knows right now?
Now 19. Let me look at 19's draft.
Now you're getting into dangerous territory.
Right, 19
that third year yet. You see the story about Vic?
What's that?
He was at this Rich Eisen charity for St. Judge.
St. Jude.
It says St. Judge on here.
St. Jude.
Yeah, but it's Jude though. St. Jude.
Yeah, he does it every year.
Why would it say St. Judge?
I don't know. They made a mistake.
Okay, I thought maybe it was a different church, and I didn't want to get it wrong.
No, it's the hospital at St. Jude Medical.
Okay, I'm reading it verbatim.
kids.
The former Falcons and Eagles star recently ran the 40-yard dash as part of Rich Eisen's Run Rich Run charity event for St. Judge, and clocked in at still. Look, regardless, St. Jude, he ran at 40. He ran a 40 at 4.72.
It's pretty darn good.
At
Right.
40.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.7.
Yes.
And he's old.
Yes.
Wow.
And he, it's not like he was probably training for this. He probably just was there, and they said, "Hey, run."
Yeah, he probably gave some tennis shoes to go out and run.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.7.
Or maybe
Never
he
ran
was,
a 4.7.
look, maybe he really runs a 4.5, but he was in wingtips. Like who knows at this point? Would it shock you if it came out that Vic was in a suit? You know how Rich Eisen
ran in a suit. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe Vic's doing that as part of the whole charity get up in his suit.
No, he didn't run it. He ran he had a t-shirt on and some shorts.
Oh, you've seen this?
Shoes. Yeah, I saw it.
Best Vic story I've ever heard. Now, clearly, there's one that's obvious, which is not a one you would say the best, but the funniest Vic story I've ever heard, and I'm sure Harry's heard this before, so I apologize if you have heard this elsewhere, but Rodney Harrison down in Atlanta, living down there in Atlanta following his days, was running hills. He was already retired, like just retired, fresh retired, and he was running hills in Atlanta. And it was a really warm day out, and this limo pulls up, right? Tinted black windows pull up, windows like slowly cruises up, and he's running his hill, sweating and drenched. And then the window drops, and there's at the time Falcons Mike Vick smoking a cigar, smiling at him and saying, "You're working too hard, big fella," and smiles and opens it up and keeps it going. Rodney was like, "That son of a..."
Right. He don't have to work. Dude, he could just get out of bed. He wake up, get out of bed, go run a 4.3, dog.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Back in those days, man.
You should have studied more film.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. All right, we're back tomorrow, Tuesday. Barrett, you're out the next 2 days, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We got some football news here before we get
is that right?
We go off. John McMullen, Twitter, and Jeff Kerr, who we just had on a couple of days ago,
CBS Sports,
are both tweeting about the NFL announcing that Prime Video is the exclusive home for Thursday Night Football in 2022.
So you got Fox 29 until then.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're getting the deal a year early.
Look at that.
Wow.
I love it. I love how they expand this thing into Prime. All right. So Barrett, enjoy your time off. Right?
Appreciate it, man.
Is it for good stuff or bad stuff?
It's
playing
good stuff,
golf.
man.
Oh, okay.
Playing golf for my birthday, bro.
Well, happy birthday, brother. Sorry we couldn't celebrate here, but I'm
Cinco
sure
de Mayo.
we'll still send you an
I'll
invite.
call you. I'll
All right?
still call you. You know I'm gonna call in
There you
anyway.
go. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Happy
Thank you for
birthday.
joining us. Happy birthday, Barrett.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about E-A-T-L-E-S every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.